Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Thank you for joining us today as we release the initial summary of our groundbreaking direct cash assistance program. To date, the program has helped more than 9,000 St. Louis families put food on the table using funds from the American Rescue Plan Act. Today, we're releasing an initial summary to the public as well as the Board of Aldermen ahead of the fall session. President Biden's $1,400 COVID-19 relief checks to American families showed that financially empowering families isn't just popular, it's good policy. Research shows that the final round of federal stimulus checks reduced financial instability in our country by 45%, with a record drop in poverty. As someone who once struggled to make ends meet after losing my mom and raising my son as a single mother, I can tell you there aren't too many problems that money can't fix. Whether it's paying off a water bill or getting child care, investing money directly in working families and trusting them to make the right decisions for themselves works. President Biden's expanded child tax credit program assisted 65 million in the U.S., or I'm sorry, assisted 65 million U.S. children, keeping 4 million out of poverty. In the first month, the vast majority of middle income families used the payments on food, clothes, and items for school. Food scarcity dropped by 6%. Last year, I worked with the Board of Aldermen to try something similar in St. Louis. Funded through the American Rescue Plan, the Direct Cash Assistance Program offered working families the opportunity to apply for direct cash assistance, a one-time $500 payment to 9,300 households. In December, the City of St. Louis opened the application portal while holding in-person events that served hundreds of residents. Meanwhile, the United Way of Greater St. Louis was working with unhoused providers and the undocumented community to make sure this resource was available to them as well. When more than 10,000 applications were received, the public portal was closed. More than 20% of the applications were incomplete or invalidated, coming from outside the city, outside the income threshold, and the like. While more than 500 applicants were able to complete their applications this way, we had cards left over. Listening to the feedback on the program, we recognized the need to reach out further across the digital divide to target populations who were missing from the initial applications. Our coalition reached out to senior homes to make sure those who may have lacked the technological expertise had the equal opportunity to apply. We also partnered with St. Louis Public Schools to reach specifically out to families facing housing instability who needed help getting back on their feet, as well as child care providers who could reach working parents. The outreach was targeted, intentional, and successful in communicating with families in need, and it would not have been possible without the hard work of our partners. The results pop up in my daily life. A few months ago, I was walking through City Hall and a woman approached me. She said, "Mayor Jones, I live just a few blocks away from you and you don't know me, but I wanted to thank you." I asked, "What for?" She replied that she had applied and received $500 direct cash assistance, and that helped her save her family's home. While I wish I got her name at the time, her story's not unique. I've had people stop me at the grocery store and talk to me about how this payment helped them. And during the Annie Malone May Day parade, people shouted thank you to me from the parade route. In partnership with Missouri Jobs with Justice, the city reached out to participants to hear how they spent this money. Despite their different circumstances, most responses sounded similar. Cut hours, job losses, and increased child care costs have taken a toll on residents. One St. Louisan wrote in that they were finally able to fix their glasses after 3 months. Another was able to afford health insurance. Countless emphasized how it helped them buy groceries and clothes for their children. From the mom of two who lost her home in a fire but used this payment to get back on her feet, to the student who bought school supplies to head off to college, the overwhelming amount of respondents who just said the essentials, clothing, food, groceries, Their responses highlighted the deep need in our communities for help and support. The one that stood out to me the most, a woman who wrote back that she was finally able to buy a new coat and a new bra. Think about that. Because when you're struggling to make ends meet, it's the basics that can make or break you. Our initial summary released today, bears that out, with analysis showing that the top spending categories were food, groceries, and bills. We've also mapped out the distribution of cards by zip code and ward, and based on our city's poverty statistics, the distribution reflects our city's need. As we close the program by the end of September, just over 100 cards remain. And we'll work with the Missouri Budget Project on a more comprehensive look at this program, and Treasurer Layne will talk more about the metrics we've examined so far in a few minutes. We've also looked at other studies about how payments can help people get back on their feet and back to work. Stockton, California analyzed its basic income program and found that families overwhelmingly used funds on essentials, with just 1% going to cigarettes and alcohol. The study also showed that it encouraged people to move from part-time to full-time work and reduced unemployment by helping people re-enter the workforce. Leisha, joining us here today from Carr Square in the 5th Ward, lost her job during the COVID-19 pandemic, and her car was on the fritz. With direct cash assistance, she was able to fix her car and get to and from work with reliable transportation. We often talk about using American Rescue Plan dollars to make a difference that St. Louisans can see and feel. This program touched the lives of thousands of working families across our city and showed that no matter your struggles, our city can work together to support each other in new ways. To the community leaders, the faith leaders, the labor leaders who came together and demanded this investment in your communities, our neighborhoods are better off due to your advocacy. To the members of the Board of Aldermen who are with me today and who also fought hard to try something new and make this innovative program a reality, thousands of St. Louis working families appreciate you. Alderwoman Annie Rice has fought for this program from the very beginning, as did Alderwoman Megan Green. And to those elected leaders who voted against this critical support for thousands of St. Louis families, listen closely to the personal stories of our speakers today. And it helped them empower their families, get them back into the workforce, repair their car, pay their bills, get their medications, and make their lives better. St. Louis joins municipalities across the country in this work. Los Angeles tried this program to great success. Cook County, Illinois ran a successful program and shared their insight with us on direct assistance as we are exploring our options. Offering relief to working families where and when we can is good policy. That's why cities like Chicago and Minneapolis have started guaranteed basic income programs. The concept of an income floor isn't new. Shortly before his assassination, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. proposed this idea as he was pivoting from civil rights to silver rights. My administration continues to explore the feasibility of a guaranteed basic income pilot in our city. But as a reminder, we do live in Missouri and less favorable political conditions to make that happen. But those are the next steps, and we need to focus today on the stories of our program participants. I want to thank all of our partners here today, the United Way of Greater St. Louis, the Treasurer's Office, as well as MoCAFI, Missouri Jobs with Justice, and St. Louis Public Schools for their collaboration on this project. And now, I'd like to turn it over to Treasurer Layne for some remarks and to share more about our summary. Treasurer Layne.
Good morning, everyone. While the COVID-19 pandemic presented a host of issues and underscored many more, it also presented an opportunity for actions such as the Direct Cash Assistance Program. Not just an opportunity to provide direct relief to those financially impacted by COVID, but an opportunity for our city to show the region and the nation an example of what it looks like to put money in the hands of those who need it most, both trusting and empowering people to make the best financial decisions and spend money in their most critical areas. Hearing the stories, which you will soon, and witnessing firsthand the gratitude of some of the nearly 10,000 residents that received this assistance makes the work that much more meaningful, and I'd like to express my own gratitude to those standing here with me, the United Way team, DHS, Mocafy, my Treasury team, all the volunteers, folks behind the scenes, partners who helped identify additional people in need of application support, and more, all of who ensured that the impacted and eligible St. Louisans, be they undocumented or unhoused, had access to apply for and receive the funding. As a city, we've hosted 18 in-person events and in total received over 10,000 applications. We served over 500 residents at our first event at St. Louis Community College and over 750 at the Wohl Center over the course of 3 days. Obviously, an overwhelming response, signifying the critical nature of the need. Applications themselves took on average about 14 days to process, including additional reach outs for incomplete applications and application verifications to make sure we were always in compliance with the federal guidelines and what was required and outlined in Board Bill 2. When it became very clear that after multiple attempts, we would not fulfill the 9,300 slots with the applications that we had, and I really do thank, again, the United Way for making these additional reach outs, but we made multiple attempts to get even more geographies and demographics underrepresented in the initial application pool. This was including, but not limited to, our public schools and also our senior living facilities. As of August 19th, we have distributed funds to 9,123 households, a total who on average had a median income of just over $1,000 a month. Our data shows that top funding categories were grocery purchases, utilities, fuel, home costs, medical costs, education costs, and back bills. As we continue to compile and finalize the quantitative data we've collected, we are also proud to partner with Missouri Jobs with Justice to get qualitative data from applicants and recipients on their experiences and the ongoing financial needs of our city's residents. I'm proud about what we've been able to stand up thus far and excited about the opportunities that this will present for future programs that will financially empower St. Louisans, especially during these tough economic times. Thank you.
Good morning. I'm Alderwoman Annie Rice, and as Mayor Jones said, I was proud to be a supporter of this program from the beginning. I want to thank so much the Mayor's office, the Treasurer's office, the United Way, our recipients, everyone who worked to get this program out the door. It is an incredible collaborative effort and something that can be truly transformative for the city of St. Louis. We said with this money, there is an immediate need that we can meet. We have an ability with this ARPA money to try to meet the need of St. Louisans, and that need is ongoing. And I hope that you hear that from the way that this program has rolled out. It wasn't just a one and done last December. Folks still need assistance. So this is the beginning. This is us saying as a city that we trust our residents to spend their money how best they need it. We didn't tell them that they have to spend it on food. We didn't tell them that they have to spend it on housing. They spent it for the best needs that they had for their families. And that is dignity in responding to addressing poverty. And I think that is really important as well. I am excited about the potential that is coming forward from this. The data that we've gathered, we have statistics now that we can work back through as we work towards hopefully a universal basic income experiment here in the city of St. Louis. It has been highly successful in other parts of the country, and I'm passionate about this because I think, as Mayor Jones said, there are not a lot of problems that money can't fix. And I think a lot of what we're seeing in the city of St. Louis right now is that folks just need a little bit more to help get by. So anything that we can do to help make their lives better in a state like Missouri that may or may not fight us on each of these steps. But we're going to do what we can. And I'm grateful that this is one opportunity that we get to show you really the folks that were impacted by this, whose lives have been made a little bit easier, even for a small amount of time. That makes such a huge difference. So thank you all for being here, and thank you everyone who participated and helped make this a reality.
Good morning. I'm Alderwoman Megan Green, represent the 15th Ward, and I was proud for the innovation that went into creating this program. And I was proud of the Board of Aldermen for shepherding this through and getting this passed. Since this passed, I have heard from numerous constituents of mine who received the $500 cash payments. One of them in particular stands out to me. This particular individual was on the cusp of losing his housing. He had not worked since having COVID and had not yet been able to get access to any kind of disability that would help him get back on his feet. And so when he reached out initially to say, hey, what can the city do to help? I was able to put him in contact with the application process, and he was able to get that assistance. He was able to keep his housing as a result of that, was able to pay his bills, and was able to also do some minor car repairs so that it could make it easier for him to go out and interview for jobs and get back into the labor market. We know that $500 can make or break a lot of folks in our community. It can bridge that gap between that car payment, that child care payment, that utility payment, that rent payment, all of those things that can add up and can add up very quickly if you haven't been able to engage in the workforce the way that you did before the COVID-19 epidemic. We also need to be clear that the pandemic is not over. We still have a lot of folks within our city who are struggling today, who still need support. And I'm really hopeful that this is just the beginning of direct aid that citizens and residents in the city of St. Louis will be receiving. Because we know that when we invest in folks that need just a little bit to get by, it helps raise the entire city. It helps raise the standard of living for everybody in our city. And we're stronger as a city when everybody is doing well. So I'm looking forward to continuing to partner with members of the Board of Aldermen, the United Way, Mayor Tishaura Jones, Treasurer Layne, as we work to find the next iterations of the direct cash assistance program and ensure that we continue to meet the needs of residents in our city.
Good morning, good morning. My name is Rochelle Jones, and I currently live in the subdivision of Jeff Vanderloo, which is the 3rd Ward in the city of St. Louis. I have worked throughout my entire life, have held several capacities in employment, working in management, customer service, and several different financial institutions. I was also employed by Anheuser-Busch, and due to the InBev takeover, that kind of pushed me out the door, but yet I trust him. While I was working, in 2013, I was diagnosed with bacterial meningitis, which left me permanently disabled. I was receiving my disability, but yes, I'm steady pushing forward and striving to get ahead and get back to where I was. And ever since then, like I said, I've been trying to find steady employment, stable jobs that I can deal with my limitations. And I'll find a job here, a little bit of job there, but not lasting very long. So I am currently looking for a full-time employment while I am unemployed. I'm sorry, I'm not unable. While I am unemployed, I am not just sitting around waiting for help. I am trying every day to find employment. In the meantime, this assistance could not have come at a better time. With my limitations, I was behind on my mortgage, and once again, this assistance could not have come at a better time. It did help me get my mortgage so that I can take other finances and get to another, take care of other things. 2 weeks ago, I had the pleasure and honor of being in a 3rd Ward meeting with my honorable mayor, Mayor Jones. Met her face-to-face in person, had a one-on-one conversation there with her and letting her know what was going on, what I was in need of. And I am so grateful and thankful and appreciative to be standing here, giving this presentation is, like I say, the assistance could not have come at a better time. Now that I'm getting back on my feet, I'm looking for the opportunity to work for the city of St. Louis. Speaking with the mayor's office, they said that they have plenty of employment, and that's what I'm striving for, to get to my next level so that I can reestablish and get things in order. And that's the same for families across the United States. This is a very helpful program, and I thank God for it, and I am so grateful and thankful to be standing here before you today. Yet will I trust him. Thank you for your time.
Good morning. My name is Crystal Frazier, and a lot of you may know me from Project Runway. So my name is Crystal Frazier Designs. I now live in Walnut Park, which is the 27th Ward. I lived in New York for a very long time. I moved back home quite a few years ago. And I love being back in St. Louis. But my life has changed, and I have older parents, and a lot of us have moved back home because we have older parents. So I was on Project Runway, and that was a great experience, and being a designer, and a lot of us moved back, home to St. Louis because of our older parents. My mom recently had not just a stroke, but she had a massive brain stroke, and she is unable to speak. She can understand, thank God, and I'm very grateful for that. I am her full-time caregiver, so I really don't design anymore, and I just want her to be okay and be all right. The money was a blessing, and let me tell you, God was on time. So I don't design really anymore, although I did whip this dress up late last night. And I do have something for you, Mayor, that you will love. I just had to do it. I wanted to show you how grateful I was. The direct cash assistance helped me to keep a promise to my mother that I would not put her back in a nursing home. My mother requires a lot of assistance, and I know that a lot of the nursing homes they're full, and my mother does require so much work and so much assistance, and I'm sorry, she was being a bit neglected in the home at the nursing facilities. So I decided that I would just go ahead and just take care of her, and I promised her I would do everything that I could. I did not use that money to go get my nails done or get my hair done. I said, what would my mother do? My mother raised me to have integrity. My mother is the type of woman that she didn't spend money, she didn't really splurge, she just took care of her kids. So with that $500, I took care of bills, I got groceries, paid car insurance. I did whatever I could to make that money stretch. And I knew that that would make her proud of me. And like I said, as her full-time caregiver, you just don't make a lot of money, but I'm grateful for what God, I just pretty much just dropped down to my knees when I received that money, and I just made it stretch. And it really, really was on time. So, like a lot of families in St. Louis, thousands of families like mine, it did help us to get back on our feet. So we're using these funds to support other people in our lives, whether it's people like their children or their grandchildren. And we invest this money right back into our community. My mother is a very wonderful woman, and let me just tell you, she's always supported me. And she has a smile that just radiates. And I'm just going to show you a picture of my mom, all right? And she is a lovely woman. She will be turning 80 years old very soon. And her smile keeps me going, you guys. And I just want you to know that I'm trying to do everything that I can to keep her here for as long as I can, possibly. And this is her. And if you see her, even though she can't really speak much like you and I can, I love her. And if you see her, she will make you feel good and feel warm. And you have no idea. And this was just her just a couple of years ago getting her hair done. And my dog does not leave her side. She doesn't eat, the dog don't eat. I feed her cream of wheat, the dog eat cream of wheat. I have to finger food the dog cream of wheat. But let me tell you, that money really did help a lot. And I stretched it, and I stretched it, and I knew that it would make her proud. So I'm very, very grateful, and I'm very thankful. And I know that it didn't seem like it was a lot of money, but it really, really was on time. So thank you for it. And for the people that didn't get it, I'm sorry that you didn't get it. Like the mayor said, it probably was just some inaccuracies or whatnot, but it really was legit, and I know it helped my family. Thank you so much.